Hello, and welcome to Fenris Valka's Den. May your stay be enjoyable and pleasant.
Welcome, my child. Forgive me for being here so suddenly. I had to choose a time where our meeting wouldn't be noticed. Shh, there's no need to fear. You are not dead. You are in a space of my own creation. I designed it to look like your average human's concept of heaven. For thematic reasons. Does it make you uncomfortable? Wonderful. Please, take a seat anywhere. These clouds will hold your weight and even adjust to support your body comfortably. You can recline or lie down if that is more comfortable. Now, I'm sure you're wondering why you're here. But first, please allow me to explain who I am. My name is Antonidas. I'm what you might call a god. I'm not sure that's the most accurate name for what we are, but a proper explanation would take a very long time and break more than a few laws. Suffice to say, I'm an immortal being with a great deal of power, and I'm not the only one of my kind either. We number in the hundreds, and have had a great deal of influence over many worlds. Now, as to why I brought you here, this might be difficult to accept. Frustrating, even. But I would ask that you listen patiently. Hopefully, everything will make sense by the end. You are part of what you might call a game, a playing piece amongst us gods. Shush, shush. Please, listen to my explanation first. I think you'll find that it's not as bad as it first sounds. Games such as these are very popular amongst my kind. With all the powers at our disposal, there's not much else to do, aside from compete against each other. In the past, these games have often been quite destructive. Not all of us consider mortal lives to have much worth, unfortunately. Many have changed the course of mortal history for their own purposes. Some of the more extreme games would leave entire worlds ruined. In the interest of preserving the worlds and treating mortals with care, we finally came to the agreement about these games. Nowadays, all our games have a few rules in common, including bans on causing harm or misfortune to mortals, or taking direct control of them. Or at least, that's how it's supposed to go. The game you are involved in is supposed to be one that's perfectly harmless to mortals. In fact, it should be beneficial. Each of god or goddess chooses a mortal to watch over them from birth. We each get certain moves to make at various points in their lives. The goal is to have the mortal we choose become the most successful and fortunate of a group by the end of their life. It's a good game, full of suspense and requires a great deal of cleverness and skill. We can't know exactly how a mortal might react to our moves, whether they'll take opportunities provided for them. You might have already guessed this, but you are my mortal that I chose. The circumstances of your birth led me to believe that you have a great deal of potential. In a sense, you're my playing piece. Unfortunately, you likely have noticed you have recently encountered a streak of bad luck. I have reason to believe that one of my opponents is behind this. No, you are correct. We are forbidden from causing such misfortune in all games, especially this one. Players are only allowed to make moves that affect their own peace. My opponent is cheating, and unfortunately, they are very good at it. I haven't been able to prove that they're behind this, although I am positive they are responsible. It is my intention to counteract their efforts. Strictly speaking, I am cheating right now as well. By bringing you here, I will accept being disqualified if it means you won't be treated unfairly anymore. But I believe I can get away with it, and continue to support you throughout your life. Well, first I wanted to bolster your confidence a bit. It seems to me that you believe all this bad luck is somehow your fault, and it's affecting your ability to handle new obstacles in your life. Let me assure you, these things are not your fault. No mortal can choose which hardships come their way. There are many things in your life that are simply not under your control, and that is normal. We've watched over many mortals, and they all have to face their own hardships. You would be surprised, I think, to learn how many others are going through the things that you do. Even if any of these problems were your fault, they could only be one way forward: to forgive yourself and move on. The mortal mind can be a strange thing, dwelling on things that they cannot change. You must learn to push away such thoughts, decide what you would have done differently, and you can leave the past behind you. I also want to reassure you about your own accomplishments. Having told you that I've been blessing you with good fortune, I fear you may have gotten the impression that you aren't the cause of your own success. This couldn't be further from the truth. One of the game's most important rules is that we cannot force success upon our pieces. We may only provide opportunities for them to capitalize on. This means that victory is largely dependent on that first initial choice. You have been provided with many good opportunities in your life that have helped you along. You may have been fortunate enough to be provided with them, but that is only because you recognized and used them correctly, that you are where you are. Everyone can receive good fortune in their lives. It is nothing to be ashamed of, nor does it mean that you aren't truly successful on your own victories. Those are your own. Now, let me instruct you a little bit on what will be happening in the future. I'm afraid that I cannot prevent the interloper from interfering with your life, at least not right away. They will still be sneaking around, trying to make things difficult for you. I'm going to do my best to expose them, but that will take time. In the meantime, I hope that you can take what I've told you to heart. You are one of the most resilient mortals I have ever encountered, and I believe that you can handle their tricks. They are fortunately limited in what they can do without being discovered, so do not fear. So don't fear. You will not be presented with more challenges than you're able to bear. It is also worth noting there is a reason they are targeting you. Of all the pieces on the board, you have the greatest potential. You are capable and hardworking. Fear not. As soon as I expose the cheater, I will request extra blessings to compensate for the unfairness that you've had to deal with. I also have one more thing for you. Do you see that pendant? It's an artifact of my own making. Anytime you are feeling particularly overwhelmed, put it on, and I will alter fate, making it more difficult for bad fortune to affect you. But take care, the longer you wear it, the less effective it will become. You will have to let it recharge for a while to reach full power again. It would be best to save it for especially difficult moments in your life. No need to fear. The other players will notice it, but it makes no difference. It only turns away bad fortune inflicted by one of us. Nobody would dare object to you having it, because that will imply that they are cheating. Now, I'm afraid that our time together is growing short. I have to go back home fairly soon, but please remember, Everything that I have told you, you are strong, promising mortal, and the sort that one of us might have called to be a champion in the old days. You will make it through this, I am certain. I also want to tell you that I am very pleased with you. I'm happy that I chose you as my piece. You have never made me regret my choice, not even once. I look forward to watching over the rest of your days, if I remain in this game. Hmm? Well, I'm not certain whether we'll meet again. I'm pushing the boundaries as it is, but I know that I would enjoy speaking to you again. If you truly need me again, I will find a way to make it work. I suppose you could always pray to me if you like. I had my own religion once, long ago on another world. I do miss that, at least a little bit. I won't be able to talk back, but I will always hear you and listen if you need to talk. I would wish you good fortune, but I don't have to make that wish. I will bring it to you. Take care, mortal. You are doing wonderfully.
Hi, and thank you for listening. Please leave a comment and any recommendations or possible ways to improve. It's been much appreciated that you listened to this, and I'll hopefully catch you next time. This is Fenris Valka, signing off.